Good evening. Todd Warner and Bill Luther with you tonight to bring the 13th meeting between the Bellefonte Red Raiders and the Bald Eagle Area Eagles. 1969 football, it's a classic season, Bill. The Raiders come in 5-1. The Eagles are 4-2. Both teams have a shot. The winner tonight certainly has a shot to win the Central Counties and the Western Conference title. 2 conference championships still in play for both of these teams going into Week 7.
Yes, Todd, Bellefonte 5-1, as you said, entering the game. Its lone loss was against Tyrone, snapping Bellefonte's 4-game winning streak. Previous year it was undefeated for 1968 for the Raiders, and should be a great matchup tonight.
Yeah, we expect, first of all, we expect 6,000 fans here tonight, according to Walt Young. There's a lot of backdrop to this game. The home team has not won this football game in 7 years. The last time the home team won this game, Bald Eagle beat Bellefonte in 1962 at Wingate. Since then, the visitors have ruled, and I don't know if that's an omen for the Raiders tonight or not, but the Eagles need every angle. The Eagles, as Bill mentioned, the Raiders are 5-1. The Eagles come in 4-2. So we are about to have the teams take the field here at the Bellefonte Athletic Field. And we're really looking forward to this. Again, a huge game. As Bill mentioned, the Raiders undefeated a year ago. They've won 29 of their last 33 football games coming into this. So Coach Luther's boys, they know how to win. Ed Barry, the Bald Eagle coach, is trying to get the Eagles, get his first win as an Eagle coach against Bellefonte. Here come the Red Raiders. They are 5-1 in the year. Danny Faulkner, the standout quarterback, and Dave Oshel, the halfback, lead them out. Big squad this year in Bellefonte. Going to have the coin toss. In the opening coin toss, the Raiders have won the toss and will kick off. Big Bob Emmel kicks off. Freddie Grieve of Bald Eagle takes the ball at his 15, and he is a really nice run back out over the 35. And the Eagles will set up first down at their own 37 to start this 13th meeting between the Raiders and the Eagles. Lewis under center. Eagles in that wide backfield, and Weiser off to the right. Weiser picks up about 3. Now on the second give, that counter trap, and Freddie Grieve picked up the better part of 6 yards there. Bald Eagle will come out set now with a third and about 2 at their own, just over their own 45. So a decent start for the Eagles. Lewis looking over the Raider defense. Weiser in motion deep to his left. The Eagles are set. Lewis, a quick hitter up the middle, and we're going to see which Eagle had the ball there. That was Dave Gardner, the standout sophomore Eagle running back. And the Eagles, we have a measurement. The Eagles pick up a first down, and now they're back in play again, and a counter, and Steve Weiser blasts his way for about 8 yards. The Eagles will have a second down and 2 at about the Bellefonte 46. So good movement, and again, Lewis is looking over the Raider defense, and he has the offense set. The Raiders are all down on a knee on that far sideline, Bill. Lewis looks over, he checks to his left, back to his left, to his right. Last man set. Is he going to go to Weiser again? No, he's dropping back to pass. He's looking for Buha across the middle, and he had it, and he lost it. So the Eagles had a chance to pick up what would have been a nice gain. He had Buha at about the 36. The Raiders were in front of him and behind him. Buha had his own there, Bill, and he couldn't hang on the ball. And see here,
an easy gainer there. And
at the bottom of the screen here, we see this number 81, Nordy Shea. I expect Lewis will probably look to him at some point here later. But now, on a third and about 3, Lewis is looking. He pitches to Weiser to the left, and Weiser slashes his way and bowls for, I'm going to say 5, and another first down. Steve Weiser picks up the Eagles' second first down of the night, and now the Eagles are in business at around the Raider 36-yard line. Lewis, pitch out to Gardner. Gardner slashes. He's met by a host of Raiders, and Bald Eagle maybe got 2 there, and we're going to say it's a second and 2 at the Bellefonte 34-yard line. Still in the first possession, the first drive of the game. The Eagles with a full backfield right now behind Lewis. I don't know what to expect out of this. We're gonna see what they do now. Lewis keeps the ball himself, turned right, rolled left, and I'm going to say he gets maybe 3 there. Again, Bill, what I'm noticing, something Coach Luther emphasized, I see gang tackling.
Yes.
Lewis opened up to his right, and you said they would do that. He said he's a gamer, he's a runner. He opened to his right, opened to Weiser, and then tucked the ball away, and all the way around tried to follow Gardner and his blockers, the pulling Shawley boys around to the left side. They ran a long way to get over there and protect him, and all that work, and he got about 3 yards. We're going to say it's 3rd and 5, and now I'm going to reset where I was at with the ball. It was 5 yards off. I couldn't see the yard marker. Now the Eagles are on about the Raider 36, and again, we're going to say 3rd and 5, and the Eagles' first possession of the football game. Lewis has him out. He looks. There's that counter trap again, and we see it, and that was to Greed coming on that inside. The first time Bald Eagle ran that earlier in the game, Greed picked up about 6. There he picked up about 2. We're going to say, I believe we have a 4th down. We have a 4th and 3, and the Eagles are going to go for it because they're in almost to the point where a punt wouldn't matter, make much of a field position difference. Lewis brings him out. They're set with Weiser behind him. He's deep, and there's the give to Weiser, and Weiser pulls to about the 30, and I believe that's going to be enough for the first down. I don't even know if they're going to need a measurement. I'm looking at the line judge coming in from the Bellefonte sideline. We'll see what they mark here, and they do measure, and it is a Bald Eagle first down. So still on the first possession, and Lewis on a keeper, and this was a nifty play, a nifty play as Lewis had a nice fake there, and the Raiders were aggressive up front, and 4 of them bit on the fake.
Yeah, Lewis is a very strong runner, very similar to Faulkner on the Bellefonte side. Both good runners, not afraid to pull it back and keep it, and inside or outside.
And we have not seen Lewis. We haven't seen Faulkner yet tonight. We will in short order when the Raiders get their first possession. But Lewis picks up about 5 there. And we're going to say Bald Eagle's on the move. They started after the opening kickoff on their own 37. They've now marched. They had 1 incomplete pass, but otherwise they've been on the ground. We've been penalty-free so far, and they have a 2nd and 5, about 5 at the Raider 25.
Well, great inside blocking, Whitmer at center, the Shawley cousins.
And there we try to go wide, and there
well
is
defended by Bellefonte.
Well defended. Carl Green was the first guy there, and there's also a flag on the play. And Bald Eagle, the flag flew in way back here, kind of as we're looking at the field, Bill, to the right. I don't know if Bald Eagle had somebody out there wide right that started early, but the flag was up before Weiser took 2 steps. I'm guessing that flag's on Bald Eagle, but Carl Green, a great play there, number 37. He came in, made the initial impact, and then his teammates kind of cleaned house, and Weiser got nothing on that. So let's see what we've got. We do have a flag. We did have a flag, and Bald Eagles backed up now with a 2nd and 10 at about the Bellefonte 30-yard line. Still an impressive opening drive. Lewis again with that lined backfield. He's got the wing back Gardner, and he's got Greed and Weiser in the backfield right now. And Lewis straight back to pass, looking for Nordy Shea down deep, and that ball is picked off. It's picked off. He overthrew Nordy Shea by about 5 yards, and Greg Brown has snagged that ball. Bellefonte will take over. Now, we talk about that for a minute, Bill. Greg Brown last week got his first real look in the secondary. Coach Luther says he's a fighter, he's tough. He was a nightmare to the Jersey Shore offense last week. The Raiders beat Jersey Shore 28-16 in Lycoming County, a good Jersey Shore team. The Raiders handled them. Jersey Shore had a lot of offensive yards, but Greg Brown had 2 interceptions in that game and had about a dozen tackles. Had a marvelous game as the Raiders played bend but don't break defense and beat Jersey Shore. And right there he picks up where he left off. And you know the other thing about that interception, that pass was overthrown, and I think it surprised Brown. He was the deep man on that. He had to leave his feet to pull that ball down. If that ball's just a little bit lower and he catches that and doesn't have to leave his feet, he might have run that ball back to midfield. He had a lot of room.
Yes.
A lot of room had he been able to keep his feet. Bellefonte, first possession of the game. Faulkner and O'Shell will lead that offense out here, and they will start with their backs against the wall at their own 2-yard line. Oh, Big Bob Emmel, that was him. Big Bob Emmel wanted a piece of the Eagles early, Bill. He led the Raiders' opening play. Is going to play out, but there's a flag on that, and the Eagles stop it for no gain or very little gain, but the Raiders will back up half the distance. They're now on their own 1 with a first and about 11 from their own 1-yard line, and let's see what Faulkner can do as he's back there with O'Shell in the backfield. There's the give to O'Shell off to the left. Not a bad run from considering where they started, Bill. O'Shell picks up close to 5 yards there. It looked like, to me, it looks like he got out over the 5-yard line.
Yes, that's the Bellefonte power play, tailback, off tackle, lead block by the fullback.
And Leitzel does a good job.
Yes, our bread and butter play.
So the Raider bit bread and butter, and we'll see a lot of that tonight. Al Leitzel, who's only a junior.
Yes.
Phil. Al Leitzel, tough, hard-nosed, kind of an unsung hero. He leads that through in a deep handoff. Dangerous thing to do, but a lot of confidence in this Raider offense, and O'Shell picks up a nice gain. And now they tried more of a sweep to the left. O'Shell tries to go wide, and again he fights for about 2 or 3. I look at in a host of Eagles. I see Big Steve Shawley, dangerous guy, number 72 for the Eagles. They say some big schools like University of Virginia are looking at him right now, but the Raiders, after starting in that hole, have chipped their way out to about the 7. So we've got 3rd and a long 4 from the Bellefonte 7, the Raiders' first possession of this football game. And now this would be a time where Faulkner might keep it, Bill. He sticks it in. No, he doesn't stick it into Leitzel's gut. He does keep it, and he goes out around to his right side, and he is going to be run out of bounds, run into the stands by Weiser and Grieve. And that play, Weiser and Grieve ran him almost into the pit.
Yes, good pursuit from the Bald Eagles side. Quick defense, hard to get outside on that.
And he just missed the first down by about a yard. But now who do we have? We have Greg Brown.
Greg Brown punting.
And Greg Brown is standing about 2 or 3 yards inside his own end zone. And this is a chance for the Eagles to maintain the field position advantage. The snap's clean. Brown gets the kickoff, and the punt went out of bounds at the 33-yard line. But let's just see here. Bill, there appears to have been a flag thrown. Let's see what the flag was. There was very minimal contact, but we'll step the fans through. What happened here was Greg Brown was apparently roughed by one of the Eagles, the one who rolled in at his feet. You don't make contact with the punter. The Raiders have new life and now have a whole new set of downs out about the 20-yard line, 25-yard line. And now Faulkner's back and throws, and who he hits, I'm assuming that's Greg Brown. Is it 21 or is it 42? Let me see who gets up off the stack.
I believe that was Greg Brown.
That was Greg Brown. Made a nice grab, and he made 2 Eagles miss. He picks up 13 yards. And right now, by our spotter, we're saying we're at the Raider 38-yard line. That was the biggest play of the night so far for Bellefonte. And the Raiders now, O'Shell with a nice run. He gets about 4. He ran a long way to get 4 yards. But there again, Bill, that was a little bit of a modification off the play. You said this time Faulkner brought him to the right. But he stuck the football, again, a little fake to Leitzel, deep handoff. Is that the Bellefonte likes that deep handoff?
Yes.
And he's looking because he must have very good vision too. Coach Luther must have a lot of confidence in the vision. You mentioned Faulkner quarterbacked this team last year when they went undefeated.
Yes.
A lot of people here kind of forgot that because that team had other stars that have since graduated. One, Sam Nastis, already visited the Raiders today, up from West Virginia. And the Raiders will have a second and maybe 6 or so at their own 42. Faulkner takes the snap. Again, the fake to Leitzel, a little bit of a counter that time. Leitzel went to the right, O'Shell went to the left, and Bellefonte picks up 2. That will bring us to a 3rd, and I'm going to say 4 at about the Raider 44. Big play here for the Raiders. if they want to maintain the momentum. Faulkner calls a signal. And there's that deep pitch way in the backfield. He shells loose. He's across midfield, and he's hit and finally knocked down by Mike Miller and
Dave Whitmer, 52.
And
was
Dave
able to
Whitmer, 52 for Bald Eagle. And that was the nicest run that
Yes.
either team's had tonight from his own 44. I mean, he picked up 10 yards there.
We got good downfield blocking on that play, something we hadn't done so far in the game, and showing that it's making a difference for us.
When you can see here, Bill, the Raider linemen that are getting up off the ground 12 yards downfield,
Yes.
that has to make the coach happy. And now, first down at the 46 of Bald Eagle. The Raiders are in Eagle territory. Faulkner rolling hard, keeper all the way around the corner to his, and he gets 7 yards. And I don't know who tripped him up down there. I see Weiser didn't make the tackle, but he was the last man to contact. But the Raiders got hit with clipping on that play. And that's a tough call. That had to have been somebody coming back off the corner to protect. Now, that play was effective, though. The lineman, again, did the job down there. We had Bill Luther, and Bill Luther as the tackle, and John Kirshner as the guard on that left side. Kind of a common play that you guys would run.
Yeah.
The Raiders would run. And that's going to back up. That's a 15-yard backup.
Yeah, that one hurt. That we had some momentum going there, and now we got to get it going again here.
So now the Raiders went from 1st and 10 at the Eagle 46 to 1st and 25 at about their own 41. We're still in the first quarter, the Raiders' first possession. Faulkner brings them out. He's set. That power eye backfield. Leitzel leads. O'Shell, good, strong, hard run, about 4. And now the Raiders are back out again with that 2nd and long. And Faulkner's looking, and he's looking over toward the outside. He's looking for Fred Johnson, and that pass is incomplete. A long pass on the Eagle sideline. It was incomplete. Johnson had a step on those guys. That ball was just a really tough throw to make, and there was some pressure.
Freddie coming out of the backfield as a slot back. He was a good target for Dan.
And and that's something you mentioned. The Raiders are known for that power eye and power football and methodical football. They've only had 3 touchdown pass receptions this year, and Greg Brown has all
3.
So I still think that could be a factor before this one is over, because it's a beautiful night weather-wise. It's 3rd and a mile for the Raiders. Faulkner's back looking, throwing deep down. Now this time the opposite sideline toward Bob Emmel, the tight end. It's tipped and picked off by Freddie Greed down there. On the sideline, Morty Shea tipped it. Fred Greed picked it off. Bald Eagle area will take over at the Eagle, I'm going to say 25-yard line. That's about where I'm looking at the spot on the field. And the first down play is a give to Weiser, and Weiser pulls. Did Weiser lose the football? The Raiders thought so. Now here's the deal. Steve Weiser, on a nice move around the right and a good hard run, he broke 2 fairly short tackles there, picks up about 11. The ball did come out. The official came running in and said it was down. The 2 Raiders thought they had the football. The Eagles may get a break there, Bill.
Yes.
They may have gotten a break because Weiser keeps fighting, and he's a fighter.
He's a strong runner, no doubt about it. Tough guy to tackle. One man doesn't tackle Steve Weiser.
And I'm not sure he was down, but the official said he was down. So Bald Eagle will move the sticks, get a first down. They're out at about their own 36-yard line, their 2nd possession of the game, and we're still in the first quarter. Lewis brings him out. He's got Boo Hog on in motion to get set over there. Lewis under center, Richie Lewis, and there's that quick fake and hard hit. Who made the hit there for Bellefonte? Weiser. I guess the last play did not get a first down. It was 2nd and 1. So Weiser gets 3. The official comes in, signals first down, but Weiser again got popped. And we got to see who in the world hit him. I'm looking here at the Bellefonte defense, and that looked like a hit from John Kirshner.
Middle linebacker. And Bellefonte running a 6'1", 6'2" defense, leaving John open in the middle, and he was a good hitter. I think that was probably John on that.
Well, he made Weiser's helmet snap.
Yes.
I mean, that was a brutal hit. So the Eagles have a first down at their own 40. Still in the first quarter, Lewis, that offset backfield Lewis, a deep pitch to Gardner, Gardner to the right, across the 40 to 45, and that sophomore halfback, and again the ball's loose, again the officials say it's down, and that is going to wrap up the end of the first quarter. We have a scoreless first quarter. Both teams have moved the ball some. We will start the second quarter with BEA at their own 46 and a second down and 4 following a 6-yard run by the sophomore Dave Gardner. And at this point, Bill, it's too early to tell. We haven't seen either team. The one nice pass where Faulkner hit Greg Brown across the middle, and Brownie did a great job. He avoided a couple tacklers, got close to 15 yards, got a Raider first down. Weiser and O'Shell have both had runs in the 10, 11-yard range, but most of this stuff has been at least inside the tight ends or inside the tackles. Been a hard physical game.
Bellefonte's fortunate to have a scoreless game. Two big key points in that first quarter: the roughing penalty against Greg Brown and the interception. Bellefonte was having a hard time stopping Weiser. They were moving the ball down the field, so we're fortunate not to be behind after that first quarter.
Yeah, and Ed Berry, the two coaches, both coaches coming into this game said we're pretty evenly matched. I think they both agreed on that. The roster sizes are about the same. Both teams were, for this stage of the season, here we are, in week 7. You have two teams that are still both very much alive for Central Counties and Western Conference championships. Both coaches thought that the team that wanted it most dug the deepest. And now we're down to a 3-quarter game because we had a scoreless first quarter. Bill, you may be prophetic. The Eagles had a couple of more opportunities than Bellefonte did in that first quarter, and neither team has any points. So we go to the second quarter, and now as we look at it, the Eagles will be driving from our left to our right. And Lewis brings them out with a 2nd and 4. And there's that straight hand to Weiser. And Weiser slides up through there, gets about 2, close to 3. Bald Eagles going to have a 3rd and short at their own 48-yard line. Good tackling there. Good line search by the Raiders, Bill.
Yes.
Big play, 3rd and 2. The Eagles look like they moved. There's no flag on that. Weiser slashes off the right side and gets a first down at the Bellefonte 46. So the Eagles are on the move. Just as they did on their first possession, of the game, they're moving the ball.
A little variation in their offense in those last couple plays. Almost not quite the power I, but similar. They mix up their backfield set.
And see,
very effectively.
And they just mixed it up again because
Gardner up front.
And they had something similar on the last play, and Greed picked up about 3 up the middle. And now you've got Gardner lined up closely behind Lewis and Weiser deeper in the backfield to the left. And there's a give to Weiser, and Weiser smashes to the 30 for a bunch of Raiders corral him again. The Eagles will have 3rd, and I can see the stick. So it's 3rd and about 3 at the Bellefonte 39-yard line. Bald Eagle, another drive into Raider territory. Lewis, he picked a keeper, a nice play. A quarterback draw, so to speak. He quickly put the arm up, put it down, and the Raiders were caught off guard there. Richie Lewis, not only were the Raiders caught off guard, at the end of that play, somebody said or did something, Bill. I don't know which Raider might have been guilty, but I'm sure Coach Luther will let him know about it. An unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Yes, I think it was a late hit. I like that play. I'm surprised they didn't run that more in the first half. That fullback, delayed quarterback, keeper. But Lewis, strong runner, tough guy to tackle.
Well, after all of that, he started on his own 39. He got about 20 there. The penalty puts the ball clear down inside the 10. So the Eagles have a 1st and goal. And Weiser gets to about the 6 on first down off the left side. Now Lewis comes back. Lewis on a keeper rolling right. He's going for the flag, and he's run out of bounds at the 2 or 3 yard line. Maybe the 4. It depends where they spot it. He kind of hesitated there, Bill. He didn't tuck it away and try to get in the end zone.
Pushed out by Faulkner. He could have almost taken it inside. I don't know if that would have made a difference.
But I don't know if he could have cut in or he could have dove. But it
was another good run by a good quarterback.
And now the Eagles on about the Raider 4-yard line. And Steve Weiser off the right side, and the Eagles have a touchdown. The Eagles score on Steve Weiser's 4-yard plunge over the right guard. They have a 6-0 lead, and now Freddie Grieve, who's a really good kicker, has had a nice season kicking the ball for the Eagles, is into attempt the point after, and that kick is no good. It was wide right off to the side of the Eagle, toward the Eagle sideline, and that could loom large in this game, Bill.
Yes, extra points in this type of game are big.
A low-scoring game. This could eventually be somewhat decided by a kicker. The Eagles have so far been pretty solid offensively, but they only lead 6-0 with 9:10 to go in the first half. And now Bellefonte, we missed the kickoff there. The Raiders come out and are set at their own 28. There's a deep pitch right to O'Shell. A bunch of Eagles, a host of Eagles, and I see Big Steve Shawley swarms in. Charlie Cowan was over in the action there too. O'Shell got thrown for a loss, but Faulkner has him out, set again, trailing 6-0 here with about 8 minutes left in the first half. Faulkner, quick hitter. That's Al Leitzel. And see, that's what I would see more of that. I would like to see more of that out of the Raiders, Bill, because Al's a really tough, hard-nosed fullback blocker. And when you pop him through there with the football, just enough, they don't expect it. So now we have third, and I'm going to say fairly long for the Raiders.
Well, we have Brown
fourth
punting.
down. So we have a fourth
Brown
down.
punting again.
We missed one play in there, folks. We're sorry, but Greg Brown is set up to punt, and Bold Eagle may get decent field position out of this, and the Eagles already have a 6-0 lead. Weiser jumping around there like he wants to go for the block, and he goes through clean, and the punt is clean, and Weiser decks Greg Brown. Steve Weiser, 2 years ago as a sophomore, state runner-up wrestler for Joe Humphreys. It's not wrestling season yet, Steve.
Yes, that's right. Takedowns aren't counted.
Takedowns do not count until December. We're only in October.
Yeah.
Steve knocks Greg Brown down.
Tough penalty for the Eagles. That could have been a game-changing point right here.
Well, it certainly could have been either way, and now the Raiders get new life and yet another possession after an Eagle mistake. So Faulkner will bring them out, and now they're out near midfield, and there's a plow running. Was that O'Shell? That was a quick hitter to Leitzel. Leitzel gets about 1. So we have a second down and 9 at the Raider 49. The Raiders moving in their home white from the right to the left as we look at it here. Deep pitch to the left coming over to O'Shell. O'Shell's going to get hit behind the line of scrimmage by Charlie Cowan. And Greg Shawley and Dave Whitmer were there too, but a nice play by Cowan.
5 Eagles right there. Jimmy Wessler, 65 right there. Whitmer, 52.
Steve Weiser, the whole team's over there.
Tough to get outside on that.
So how do you think the Eagles read what was up that they read that play? Apparently read that play so well because they all moved that way right away.
Yes.
They take a chance. When you do that, though, Faulkner can come back the other way with the ball still in his hand. So now the Raiders... third and long at about their own 47. Faulkner looking, and he's looking again for Fred Johnson, this time incomplete over in front of the Raider bench. The Raiders are going to punt again. Now, let's see if the Eagles rush this punt or not. They've already been flagged twice.
I would say not.
So, I don't know, but and I don't see Steve Weiser up there jumping around in tights. Maybe Ed Barry has him back out of the play.
That looks like a return setup there.
Oh, yeah, they all drop back, and Greg Brown gets a nice punt off of Wayne Haas.
Yes.
Fields that punt at the 18, and he ends up on the ground on the 17.
Good kick coverage by Bellefonte.
Good kick coverage. The Eagles start first down at about their own 19, and there is another nice run by the sophomore Dave Gardner. That guy has a lot of promise.
Yes, that quick hitter to Gardner has been very effective. And why they don't run that more?
Yeah, I agree. And they've run 2 counters with him that were effective tonight too, where they pulled guards and trapped the other way. That was his nicest run of the night, about 9 yards. We're showing second down and 1 at about the 26-yard line, and Steve Weiser is slashing his way out over the 30, and Bold Eagle will have a first down at the Eagle 33-yard line as they have a 6-0 lead, and they're trying to punch another one down the field and into the end zone before halftime. Lewis a give to Gardner going wide right. A great defensive play by the Raiders, and I'm trying to see who wrapped him up over there. 42, Greg Brown. He stopped what could have been a huge hit.
Yes.
Lewis has him out into a long hard count. Lewis trying to draw the Raiders off sides, didn't work. Instead, he hands off to Weiser coming right, and that didn't work very well either. The Eagles get about 2, and we're going to see now. I've noticed, the Raiders have given up a couple of decent runs, but they've not given up a lot. You said that 6-1. They may have to make a change or two when they get in at halftime to whatever they're doing there. Maybe get in the gaps more. We'll see. Coach Luther says you have to lick their strength or they'll lick yours.
Yeah, the defense is starting to hold Weiser in check a little bit right now. That first quarter, I think, he was running at will. The yards are a little tougher now.
And I think the key, because he's their bell cow, he's a 3-year starter on both sides of the ball. I think the key is to holding him in check.
Yes.
If you force him to try to beat you through the air, I don't see it. So now it was 4th down, and the Eagles are punting, and Lewis gets a punt off, and the Raider, I'm trying to see which Raider, was that Fred Johnson that fielded that punt?
Either Fred or maybe Greg Brown.
But there was a flag on the Raiders there, so that little return was all for naught. A very hard hit on that play. Bald Eagle had a... Boy, I'll tell you, that was one intense hit. We have a number 70 on the field for the Eagles.
Al Thompson.
And he's been swarming around, and I see he's getting up off that stack. He made the first contact. The Raiders are trying to get something going here fairly late in the first half, and they're deep in their own territory. Faulkner, there's that handoff to O'Shell. That was more the bread and butter type play.
Yes.
O'Shell picked up about 4. Lightso, another nice block, though. He cleared the way out. And I see the Eagles, the linebackers aren't getting in on the tackles. And that's a good thing if you're Bellefonte, I guess. Faulkner back to pass, looking down the field. And a nice throw. And who is that? Is that Greg Brown?
Yes. Oh, another penalty.
Another flag. We have a holding.
I think you're right, Todd.
And now things just keep misfiring for the Raiders. Faulkner looking deep again, and this time he was looking for Fred Johnson, and Weiser was in coverage. That pass there really had no chance.
No, overthrown. Probably good. It was overthrown.
Yeah,
back to punt again.
And the Raiders are punting again from deep in their own territory, very late in the second quarter of a 6-0 Bald Eagle lead. And Greg Brown, under a heavy rush, gets the kick off. And the Raiders down that ball. And Weiser, with a good solid run there, gets about 8 yards to the Raider 42. So the Eagles will have a second down and about 2. Lewis, there's that tuck and go, and he gets a first down. He a quick draw. He picks up 5. It's 1st and 10. Lewis is looking deep. We're late in the quarter. Lewis is looking for, was he looking for Freddie Grieve down there? Nordy Shea. He was looking for Nordy Shea.
Well defended. 2 defenders for Bellefonte right there with him.
Yeah, I'm trying to see who was back there for the Raiders. It appeared to us that, once again, Greg Brown was in that mix. And not only Greg Brown, but O'Shell plays back there.
Yes, safety.
And moved over. So that one didn't really have a chance. The Eagles now at the Raider 37. Lewis back to pass again. He's been going to the air and going to the air. He's looking. He's in trouble on the Eagles sideline. He throws, and Faulkner, and he did get the foot down. The official said that. So the Raiders take over deep in their own territory, about the 20. And we are winding down in the first half at the Bellefonte Athletic Field. The quick hitter, was that to Lightso, just a quick hitter?
Yes.
And Lightso picks
fullback dive play.
Fullback dive, good safe thing. I see Whitmer getting up off there, Greg Shawley, and that is the last play of the half. That's why the Red Raiders simply ran that out after the Eagles were trying those long passes kind of in desperation late in the quarter to maybe get another score before halftime. Bellefonte with the Faulkner interception, and then just a play to run the half out. In the second half, when we return, the Raiders will get the ball first. because they kicked off the building.
Yes.
And you got to wonder, I wonder what's going on. There's a lot of emotion here still. 6,000 fans, and I'm looking ahead, because I don't know how much time we'll have at the end of this to do a significant recap, but I'm looking ahead here while we're at halftime. A huge game, 13th meeting between the two. The home team hasn't won it in 7 years. And this game is enormous. I keep saying that. A good halftime discussion. Enormous in two conference races. I know that people listen to the radio up in the press box. They listen to scores of other games. The Bald Eagle people were listening after they beat State College. A couple weeks later, they were listening to the result that State College had beaten powerful Huntington. A team Bald Eagle nor Bellefonte. Neither one of them played Huntington. But a team that's in the conference with it. So you don't play everybody in your conference. There's a PowerPoint system. What all that adds up to is Bald Eagle is actually undefeated in conference play. They lost to Johnstown Bishop McCourt, and they lost to Bald Eagle Nittany, who competes in the West Branch Conference against the Susquehanna Valley teams. So this is a huge, I point that out because just a few years ago, these two teams battled to a 14-14 tie. In a 6-6 game at halftime, a score here, a conversion, hit or missed there, this game is not too far from being a tied football game. A tie tonight would actually hurt Bellefonte more than it would hurt Bald Eagle, because the Raiders have one loss, but it was a painful loss.
Yes.
To Tyrone, it snapped a winning streak, and it was also a loss that counted in both conferences. So BEA has no conference losses.
Good point.
The Raiders, if there is and believe me, Bald Eagle Bellefonte is a must-win for both teams every year, regardless of who's wearing red and white and who's wearing blue and gold. But in this particular football game, a tie would actually make neither team happy, but it would hurt Bellefonte a lot worse than it would Bald Eagle. As far as winning out, when you look ahead, after tonight, whoever wins this football game, let's say Bellefonte comes back and wins, the Raiders will simply have to beat Clearfield next week and then keep the kettle in Bellefonte, this kettle they took from State College last year, beat the Little Lions at Memorial Field. If they do that, the Raiders are likely to win at least a share of both of those conference titles. More likely win the conference title outright. Next week when Bellefonte is playing Clearfield, a huge game on tap, the same night right up the road is State College in Tyrone. So the Raiders and the Eagles both control their own destiny in these conferences. That's got to be part of the mindset here as we get ready for the second half. And the team should be coming back out for the second half. And Richie Lewis is kicking off for the Eagles from the 40. It goes down the field, and I think that's Greg Brown with the ball, and that's a nice run back, 25-yard run back. The Raiders are going to start at their own 38-yard line. They're moving from our right to left, and they have Faulkner, and now you have the standard. There you have the Bellefonte eye. When you come out and do your normal routine bread and butter stuff, let's see if they have any more emotion. And Leitzel blast, and they do have more emotion on that first play. Leitzel gets about 6. So the Raiders are going to have a 2nd and 4 at about their own 46-yard line. Opening possession of the second half. There's that dive right behind Leitzel, and Faulkner gives to O'Shell. He got about 2. So you can see the stick over there. The Raiders are short of the first down, little over 2 yards. Faulkner under center. Quick hitter to Leitzel. The Eagles were ready for that. 5 of them swarmed in. And the Raiders are going to punt. Weiser jumping around. Is he going for a block again? No, other guys are, though, and Greg Brown gets a dandy off. Oh, beauty. And Wayne Hawes gets out of the way, and the Raiders special teams play Bill.
Hit him down to about the 4-yard line.
4-yard line. The Bald Eagle will start their first possession of the second half with a precarious 6-0 lead, and the ball at their own 4-yard line. Lewis under center. That was the most predictable thing I've seen tonight, was a give to Weiser down there in that situation. And he picks up about 5. A nice run, a good line surge, and the Eagles will have 2nd and 5 at their own 9-yard line. Lewis again. again to Weiser. Weiser churning out to about the 11, maybe the 12. We will have the Eagles will have a third and let's say 2 at their own 12. And now he goes to, well, let's see now. Did he get a first down? We may see a measurement. No, we didn't.
That was Gardner.
Gardner on the quick hitter comes up a yard short, and Lewis punts from his own 1. The Raiders have it all the way. O'Shell going backward a little bit. Now he cuts upfield and he made something out of nothing and a good run back.
Good return.
You know, he looked like he was in enormous trouble there.
Could have been pinned back.
I mean, he went backward 8 yards and ended up with a return of about 15. So the Raiders, the Red Raiders, are now in Eagle territory at about the 38-yard line. And there's a quick hitter. That was Leitzel again.
Yes.
They used him to keep them honest. A solid run. When you get 4 yards on a first down, you're...
Yes, a little different look. There's split backs instead of the I formation. And just a little different look. Eagles still tough up front. That 4-man front, they run a defense similar to what Penn State ran at that period of time.
Yeah, now I see Whitmer and crew in there, Gardner, but that O'Shell carry picks up enough yardage to get the Raiders to about the 30. So you can see the stick. It's third down and maybe 2.5 for the Raiders. Faulkner under center. I would have thought he was, and he did keep it, and that's a dandy run. He slid around there. You saw that, Bill. You said all night. You said all night.
Yes, the power keeper.
You said, but there were 2 fakes on that.
Yes.
The fake that he stuck it in, and then the fake where the back, the other back. So who did he fake to? He faked the light. So then he faked to O'Shell, and then he kept it. And the Eagles are very fortunate that play didn't go for a touchdown. If he hadn't been nicked a little bit there about the 25, he'd have been still standing in the end zone. Faulkner looks like he's a little bit sore tonight, Bill. Like he's gimpy.
Well, he plays hard every game. He's not afraid to get hit, and he's not afraid to hit on defense. So he takes a pretty good pounding by week 7. But he's a tough guy.
And I watched.
He doesn't give up.
Well, that was a tough run. I mean, he got 4 yards after contact.
Yes.
The Raiders have the ball at the BEA 23 now, and there's a quick hitter to Leitzel, and that goes nowhere. And I see Big Jim. I think that's Big Jim Corson in there, maybe. And
75, yes.
Yeah, Big Jim, as a sports writer's call.
As usual, Whitmer right around the ball.
Yeah, Whitmer's a tough player.
He is a good player.
Good football player. Here's the guy, and I saw that one coming. We were getting more accustomed to that. But a slippery run. O'Shell got something out of nothing there. The Eagles really didn't bite on the fake to Leitzel. It was a good fake by Faulkner, but he pulled that ball out, pitched to O'Shell again, deep in the backfield, but O'Shell's kind of snaked his way down to about the 19, just the 20 or the 19. We're going to see where they spot it. The Raiders are out again, their deepest possession of the night, and there's Faulkner again on a call, and that could, I'll tell you what, Bald Eagle is not, that's twice.
That could easily have been a touchdown.
Yeah, and the run he had just a few seconds ago, where he got 7, he kind of slipped, or he'd have had one. If he cuts that in, he might have a touchdown. He has downfield blocking. The official marking that down, I'm going to say on the 11. So Bellefonte's going to have a second down and about 2 at the BEA 11. And now they've slashed in there. The Raiders have a first and goal. This is by far their best opportunity of the night, and they're not doing anything fancy. Leitzel's at the fullback, O'Shell's at the halfback position, and Faulkner under center, and I think you've got the line set. Is this Big Bob Emmel on the tight end here on the
side,
left?
yes.
And Weiser
probably
standing.
going to be a power to the left side, does he? Nope.
No, it's a power to the right.
To the quick side.
And they went over behind Bill Luther.
Yeah, power quick.
And that play got good yardage. I mean, you got 4 yards.
They were expecting to see it to the strong side, the tight end side, but occasionally we would mix it up and run it to the quick side, the slot side.
And it worked very well there. That puts the Raiders, I mean, they got halfway to the end zone from where they needed to be, and now they're set in the same thing, and they bring it the other way. Faulkner on a keeper. This time the Eagles thought they had a loose ball. I think we had a gain of about 1 there. And that was Faulkner doing that, because he ran into a mess over there. So we have a third down and goal for the Red Raiders at about the Eagle 4-yard line, 3 or 4 yard line, and Faulkner has them set. This could be one of the key plays in this football game. They're in the eye, fake the lights will give to O'Shell, who slides off tackle, and now Wayne Hawes, Morty Shea, he cut between them. Charlie Cowan came out way wide, and O'Shell gets the touchdown, and now we have a 6-6 football game. And now the Eagles missed their extra point. Now it's up to Bill Luther to see if he can give the Raiders the lead. And a 1-point lead, the way this football game's going, would be enormous. It's set. The hold is good. The kick is perfect and long. And Bellefonte, with 3:26 to go in the third quarter, has a 7-6 lead. All the pressure is now on the boys in navy blue. Okay, Bill, the Eagles are back out here. Their backs are against it now. I mean, we still have time. It's the third quarter. But Lewis brings them out down 7-6 after the Raiders just get on the board with O'Shell. And there's that pitch to Weiser to the left, and Weiser picks up about 6, maybe 5. Lewis comes back in. He is under center. He's looking. He's rolling back deep to his right, looking to throw to Fred Grebe. And that was a Raider hit. I don't know what Raider came in and leveled the boom on Grebe, but Freddie didn't hang on to that football anyway, and the Eagles have third. I'm going to say 3rd and 6, and it looks like they're just outside their own 30-yard line. Lewis looks over the Raider defense. The Eagles trail by a point. He gives that counter to Grebe, and this time it gets something, but I don't think enough. And no, the Eagles are punting. So the Eagles are in punt formation. We're in the waning moments of the third quarter. Bellefonte leading 7-6, and Lewis gets off a punt and a fumble. And Bellefonte dodges a bullet there.
Yes.
The Raiders,
Pure disaster right there.
The Raiders bobbled the ball. It took a convenient bounce where Al Thompson, a bald eagle, was just a whisker away from maybe scooping that thing up, and the Eagles would have been in business in Raider territory. But as it stands, good recovery by the Raider, and the Red Raiders, and that was O'Shell.
O'Shell, yes.
Who fumbled and recovered his own fumble, but there's a quick hitter, and Leitzel gets the ball in his gut, and he sticks his helmet into Big Al Thompson's gut, and he gets about 1. That's off that quick side of the Raider line. And now we're going to say 2nd down and 9 for the Raiders. Leitzel at the fullback, O'Shell at halfback, Faulkner under center, Faulkner barking out the signals. Faked it, Leitzel pitched to O'Shell, and O'Shell a nice solid. I don't know where they're going to mark him out of bounds, but he may have gotten close to 1st down there. He picked up, I'm going to say 7 or 8, Bill.
Yes.
And I can see, does that stick say it is a 1st down? Yeah. So the Red Raiders, O'Shell got enough on that. He scampered down the Raider sideline. He got the 1st down. Bellefonte with a 1-point lead and moving with authority right now. And there's that Faulkner keeping the football. And again, the Eagles, Steve Weiser tried to rip that ball out. Bill, there you go again. They haven't stopped that all night. I mean,
solid run, yes.
That was what, 8 or 9 yards?
Yes, Faulkner, hard runner.
Hard run, and it must be strong too, because Weiser, who's pound for pound the strongest Eagle on the field, tried to rip that football out and couldn't do it. The Raiders moving, Leitzel leads, Faulkner blasts over the 50. I think that's another 1st down. Let's see. They're looking at it. Faulkner brings them out. I'm going to say it's 1st and 10 for the Red Raiders. They are on, I'm going to put the ball on the bald eagle 48-yard line, and Coach Luther's not doing anything different now, Bill. He's got the fullback, he's got O'Shell behind him, he's got Faulkner under center, he's got Greg Brown split out. He sticks the ball, this time no fake, just kind of a straight dive to off the right, again, off that quick side. A little bit of a surge. Now that yard marker says it was 3rd down over there, so we just looked at a short yardage situation, I believe, so this one will give the Raiders the 1st down. And that will end the third quarter, as the Raiders will open the 4th quarter, moving from our left to our right with a 1st and 10 at the Bald Eagle 46. So somebody is 12 minutes from being really happy here, and somebody's 12 minutes from not being very happy. And a bunch of Eagles, surely they jumped off site.
I think a movement on the tight end.
Oh no, Bob Emmel got caught. He got caught again. Bill, he got caught to open the Raiders' first possession. of the game, and now he got caught to open the Raiders' first possession of the fourth quarter. But he's had a great season,
Yes.
and I think there's just a lot of emotion on the field now because we're in the final 12 minutes. Nothing different we see in this setup for the Raiders, except they're 5 yards back further. It's 1st and 15. They're on their own 48-yard line. Faulkner back to pass, and he's buried. Steve Weiser got him that time, and Charlie Cowan. It looks like the Eagles blitzed, and now the Raiders have I'm going to say a 2nd down and about 23 on, let's say, their own 41-yard line. Faulkner set. He's looking, and he's back to pass again. And the Eagles had him, and he dumps one off to O'Shell, who's loose. O'Shell is loose. He gets away from Corson. He's across midfield. He's at the 45. He's at the 40. Oh, my goodness. That could be a deal breaker. Bill, he was very good. The Eagles had him. They were going to have their second sack in a row. It was 2nd down by my count, 2nd down and 23 yards to go at their own 41. O'Shell at the last second flipped the ball out. It wasn't pretty. The catch wasn't even pretty, but it was. No. If you're Coach Bill Luther, it had to be beautiful.
Yes.
Especially the run after the catch. 3 Eagles missed him till O'Shell was done running. The Raiders went from a near disastrous situation where they were going the wrong way to where they have a 3rd, and I'm going to say very manageable 3rd and 3 at about the BEA 39-yard line after that catch and run. Faulkner under center. He's looking. Quick hitter? No, not a quick hitter. The Leitzel will pitch to O'Shell outside. I don't know how far he went staying in bounds, but they mark him all the way down at the 29. He got 10 yards on that.
Yes.
10 yards on that play. And once again, I'm the broadcaster, and Faulkner faked me out when he stuck the ball in Albert Leitzel's gut and pulled it out and pitched it very, very quickly to the left side to O'Shell, the strong side of the Raider line there. And, you take a look at that, and I'm taking a look, and you had, it looked like Big Jack Corman, Steve Brooks, and give Bob Emmel some credit there. Those guys, they did the job.
Yes.
No, Bob Emmel.
2 big plays by O'Shell. Kept us right in the game. That
was a hard, tough run. And now the Eagles are up against it. The Raiders have a 1st down at the BEA, let's say 29-yard line. We're in the 4th quarter. Faulkner under center. He's calling the signals. He looks to be keeping it the whole way, coming around the right end. Charlie won't get him. Wayne Haas won't get him. Nobody's going to get him. Faulkner, I thought his leg was hurt, but he storms into the end zone. He was untouched on that play, Bill.
Yes.
Untouched. And now, and there's no flags. And you see here Steve Weiser, the great Eagle, the 3-year middle linebacker, hands on hips. No, it's not over yet.
No.
But the Eagles look pretty dejected, and that time it was just an all-out sprint. That was a race around the right end. And here we go. Now let's give these guys some credit. The quick end, the quick side, Bill. The quick side did the job. We just talked about the strong side.
Well, we had a little extra motivation at halftime.
The motivation at halftime, and there John Kirshner and Bill Luther.
Dave Marion at center.
And Dave Marion at center. They collapsed everything there, and Faulkner and the backs stuck to what their assignments as well there too. And Faulkner,
a really underestimated guy, Fred Johnson, 21. Typically at the slot, he would be out leading that play as well.
Well, he tied 2 bald eagle guys up on that play. So now here is Luther with the extra point attempt, and this would be a big one. It is up, and it is just like the first one, long and straight through the middle and perfect. And with 10:08 to go in the football game, the Raiders are getting set to kick off. They have a 14-6 lead. And now, a quick comment. At halftime, we talked, Bill. Bald Eagles down by 8. We have the new 2-point conversion rule in place this year.
Yes.
Coach Luther of Bellefonte went on the record saying he absolutely did not like it. Ed Berry from Bald Eagle said he absolutely loved it. Polar opposite opinions. Tonight, it could loom very large because Barry's boys need to get a touchdown, and they're going to need a 2-point conversion to get a tie. These two, and that would be 14-14. These two teams just tied 14-14 a few years back. And tonight, as we talked at halftime, nobody would like a tie, but a tie would knock the Raiders out of any shot of the Central Counties and Western Conference title. However, a tie in this football game would keep Bald Eagle alive in the conference title races because the Eagles don't have any conference losses. we're going to see how this one plays out in the final 10 minutes. And is this Big Bob Emmel kicking off?
Yep.
Big Bob Emmel, the deep kicker. Bill Luther, the height kicker. And he drove one. Yeah, that is a deep kick. Lewis took it clear down at the 2, and he's weaving and swerving his way out to about the 24. Bald Eagle's going to start. And now it's going to be do or die for Ed Barry's boys in blue and gold. They're 4-2 on the year. They need to move right here.
We had a penalty too, so now they're pushed back to.
We had holding on that, so yeah, the Eagles actually started on like their own 12, and Lewis gets about 4 on a keeper around the left end. And a host of Raiders, Fred Johnson again in on the mix.
Late hit.
And the Raiders late hitting. Now that can't make Coach Luther happy.
No, not at all.
Because you have them pinned back, and now you let them out of the hole. And the Eagles have a first down. So the Eagles have a shot. Started on their own 12, and let's see where they go. Here goes Weiser. Up the middle, he gets about 3, and Lewis brings them back out just that quickly. We're in the fourth quarter. Again, they're going to their hammer. And Steve Weiser is their hammer on first down. I see the stick over there. He picks up about 3. The Eagles are set again. It's second down. They're at midfield. We're approaching. I see the logo. They're approaching midfield. Quick hitter. There's that dangerous. And sophomore Dave Gardner just blasted for the better part of 18 yards off the right side. And, I don't know, Bill, but the Raider defense needs to kind of suck it up here. Coach Luther talks pride and guts, and the Eagles started on their own 12 and are now marching down the field, and that was a beautiful run by Gardner. Here comes Weiser. Weiser bounces off 3 guys before 4 Raiders wrap him up, but he gets about 5 yards. It's 2nd and 5 for the Eagles. 2nd and 6 maybe, just inside the Bellefonte 35-yard line. Lewis on the keeper, and Lewis is slashing his way down to the 30. And momentum has suddenly come back to wearing navy blue tonight. We're deep into the fourth quarter of this game. Bellefonte leads 14-6. Lewis is out. He's under center. Bald Eagle again with a little bit of an offset look in their backfield. Lewis, a give to Weiser across the 30. Out of bounds on the Raiders sideline and clear down around the 20.
Good hard run by Weiser.
A hard run to the 23. Bald Eagle has a first down. They're on the Bellefonte 23-yard line. They trail 14-6. Lewis brings them out. The Raider defense is set. Those guys in the secondary, Brown and O'Shell, better be ready back there. They could be the safety valve. Lewis on a keeper around the left side. That one is going to blow up for a loss of a couple yards. Kirshner was in there. Greg Brown was in there. And there was a Raider hurt on that play or slowed up. I don't know if that was Freddie Johnson. Somebody got up a little bit slow. However, between Brown and Kirshner, they came up big on that play. Bald Eagle with a second down and 13 at the Bellefonte 26-yard line, and it's late in the ball game. There's a give to Gardner. He's had a big run. Oh, and he tossed the ball up. And O'Shell, I think that's O'Shell, recovered that fumble. He's zigzagging around back there, and he's returning that football. He's coming down the Raider sideline. Well, now he goes out of bounds, but it doesn't matter. That was disastrous for the Eagles. Here's the deal. That was the same play that the sophomore halfback, and he's a dandy, picked up an 18-yard gain on just a few minutes ago. He had room to run there, and he had a nice gain. You got to protect the football. He was into a 6 or 7 yard gain there. Somebody came up, a Raider popped him, and the ball flew directly into the air, flew toward the goal line. It went in the direction Bald Eagle wanted it to go. However, no Bald Eagle guy had a hold of it at that time. O'Shell scooped it up, zigzagged around, and finally went to his left and came up the Raider sideline. The Raiders dodge a bullet, a great gutty stand, and there's a pitch to O'Shell. Is he going to run hard? Wayne Hawes comes up, makes a nice, nifty tackle. The Raiders gain nothing. I think they lost a couple yards there on that deep pitch. Maybe a little bit risky. The Raiders are set up. Now they're going to move to the left, and Faulkner's going to keep the ball, and Faulkner's going to pick up some yardage, and Corson misses him, and Al Thompson wraps him up. And I'm going to try to figure out there, Bill. I think he, in the mix of all that, Faulkner very, very slyly picked up about 10 yards.
Yes, I would agree.
Sliding around there. And now the Raiders are set again, and Faulkner goes to
O'Shell. Pitched to O'Shell.
He pitched to O'Shell, and he led Did you see 2 Bald Eagle defenders tried to tackle Faulkner 10 yards downfield thinking he had the ball, and he didn't even have the ball. So now the Raiders are in position here. They're thinking running out the clock. The Eagle defense is set. The pressure's on. The pressure is on. And the Eagles come in with a good stop there. Bellefonte, I'm going to say, has a second down right now. We can't see the down marker from our vantage point. But Faulkner on a keeper, I said it was third down. Faulkner on a keeper gets knocked out of bounds over on the Raiders sideline. He got a first down, Bill.
Yes.
We have a new set of downs.
Good strong run.
The clock is going to keep running here, and the field position's there. And who's this? Leitzel?
Leitzel.
I saw, look at that bull. And look at the Raiders sideline. The Raiders sideline, they can smell it, Bill.
Yes,
and now they're thinking, we got a 14-6 lead, and I don't know if they're thinking like we are, but they're thinking, we finished this one out, we're 2 wins away from repeating as our conference champions in 2 conferences. Well, I say that, the Eagles stop O'Shell for about a 3-yard loss. That play never had a shot. The Eagles are kind of selling out, going all out now. The Raiders second down and let's say 12. Is it a give to Leitzel? No. It's a keeper by Faulkner. He's going to keep sliding. He's out of bounds. It's a first down. Bill says it's a first down. He went around there again, and you had those guys like Corman and Emmel, and even the centers over there sticking the Bellefonte centers over there sticking his nose into that one, Bill. So you had Marion, Brooks, Corman, and Emmel flying around on that side. The Raiders do a good job of mixing it up, strong side, quick side here. Another first down. There's Faulkner, the pitch to O'Shell. O'Shell stops, hesitates, does a really nice job of waiting, being patient, looking for the hole. Not much there, but he gets, I'm going to say 3. That one keeps the clock moving. And there's Faulkner, and Faulkner slides, and he dives, and he moves, and he slithers, and he gets 5 yards before Big Steve, I think that was Big Steve Shawley, 72, wraps him up. But the Raiders are deep in Bald Eagle territory. And on third down, Faulkner is stopped. Now here we have an interesting situation. The game is winding down. The Raiders have chewed up a lot of clock since O'Shell scooped up that Dave Gardner fumble and got the Raiders out of a real jam down there. But the Raiders have picked up 4 first downs, big first downs, a couple of them on long yardage plays. But now the Raiders have 4th down. And the game is over. The game is over. So the clock ran out. They knew, oh wait, we're going to see here, the fans are storming the field. The Raiders are chanting, we're number one, we're number one. They're going to chant that in their locker. The only time they haven't chanted in a locker room in the last 2 years was after the Tyrone game. They've been chanting pretty loud in red and white for the better part. Actually now they've won for the 30th time in 34 games. They are 30-4. 30-4, Bellefonte. Under Coach Bill Luther, the last 3 years plus the first 7 games of this year. They need 2 wins. They need to beat Clearfield at home, and then they need to go to State College and win the Kettle. As I mentioned, all eyes next week, though, will be on, now that Bellefonte won this game, they'll be on Bellefonte and Clearfield and right up the road, State College and Tyrone. Because the outcome of those 2 games is likely to have the Kettle game be a known across the state championship game with the Western Conference and the Central Counties Conference titles both at stake. And the Raiders control their own destiny. So congratulations to them, Bill. Closing thoughts?
Yeah, so as anyone expected, a good hard-fought game. Came down to a couple key plays, as you mentioned, the interception, the punt penalty against Bald Eagle. That was big. And of course, the fumble at the end, there's no doubt that Bald Eagle would have scored, more than likely, in that last drive. And then, who knows, 2-point conversion, easily could have been a 14-all game.
And a 14-all game
hurts us.
Would have hurt Bellefonte a lot more than it would have hurt Bald Eagle.
Yes.
So for Bill Luther, this is Todd Warner, on behalf of everybody who sponsored the 1969 Bellefonte 14, Bald Eagle Area 6 football game broadcast. We thank you and have a good night.